Our story starts with 6.
6 individuals of disparate upbringings hold onto a common thread by the death of an idealistic fool.
6 souls bound into secrecy after stumbling haphazardly onto a war waged in the shadows.
6 children trying to fill the role of traditional heroes of Eld. Heroes that have long since been eradicated in a land such as Avarice.
He is Maxwell Cantrell, only son of Lord Tobias and Lady Ophelia Cantrell, a shattering mind newly awakened to the chaos of the collective subconscious.
She is Luminaire Belafont, heiress to the newly titled House Belafont, a woman bound by blood to the service of an infernal Duchess of Shadow.
He is Ronk Shamboro, the oldest son of a middle-class family of engineers, burning with anger as the world's unfairness hammers down upon him like a stray nail.
She's Saoirse Goldwyn, a downtrodden orphan selling false hope through cards, long since broken of any belief that she matters in the eyes of this all-consuming empire.
He is Nova Cantrell, the last creation of an idealistic fool still fighting to shine bright as the darkness readies to swallow him whole.
She is Sparklip's belly filler, a goblin's middle child turned from food to faith, still clinging to a pantheon whose relevance has long since waned. 6 souls brought together by death, for their threads to be woven into a common fabric. Through childhood they pass, learning friendship, love, loss. 7 more among their number join to play their roles upon the sides, numbering the Zyger sisters 3, the Kovash twins 2, and 1 each of Radin, Blackmond, and a Burke.
2 are whisked away, offered something grand by 2 faithful servants of the Ministry of Progress, Lady Jimena Lascaris and Lord Manos Isidros. The faces of Amaranth and Chrysanthemum Zyger go fading more and more into inaccurate memory with every passing day. In Galoro 595 Radiant, though disparate paths saw them separating briefly, they returned together in the city of Dreslin, united by the disappearance of their friends and growing worries between those who remain. They begin down their misguided path. Like adventurers of the fairy tales of old, they might tell themselves. Good deeds are rewarded. Out-of-control hellhounds are put down, a hunt is well succeeded, and a burgeoning friendship is formed with a traveling merchant and his erstwhile companion. They remain at the party's service to this day.
All of it comes crumbling down around them in an instant when night finally falls and a father figure comes home bloodied and terrified. Lord Tobias Cantrell addresses his son for what will be the last time, tells him to seek one Alistair Harlow, and falls that night to an assassin's blade.
A desperate escape through the sewers sees the gravity of the situation dawning over them each. A final confrontation at its end sets them up against a terrifying new opponent. Wreathed in shadow with rapier and pistol both drawn, a desperate battle sees the group narrowly grasping victory and sullying their hands with mortal blood for the first time.
The sunlight they emerge to does little to wash away the perceived stains, and so they flee. Martin's Junction awaits them. There they settle, finding friends both old and new. They get up to their same shenanigans as adventurers are wont to do. They investigate disappearances, get up to further hunts, find fresh rumors, root out a hag, until eventually a coded letter comes in and sets them dashing off to rescue one Marin Blackmond. A rush to not-so-distant Emerly, a visit to a far-off asylum playing host to a dark secret. They pick up an angelic companion along the way, rescue their friend in the nick of time, and put an end to any chance of higher thought from the site's director.
Was this the final straw that breaks the camel's back? Or was it merely another crack opening the gates wide for the inevitable? The results are the same. In the night that follows, Maxwell draws the eye of an interested party, now made aware of the potential that lies within him and his companions.
A brief return to Martin's Junction precedes a trip to Fay Pass. Trailing after a lead that might bring one Saoirse Coldwin all the closer to finding what family of hers yet remains, she meets a crooked attorney. She betrays a crooked attorney. She brutally murders a crooked attorney.
And in so doing attracts the attention of something far greater. An hastened Fey Lord of Vermin writhes his way into the party's possessions to stay and to watch the trail of great violence and bloodshed that this party weaves across this festering empire. And Dipteryx, lord of all that skitters, scurries, and squirms. How he will delight in the chaos to come.
Before they leave, Luminaire's bond to her patron deepens. Her next hunt is colored in crimson. Almost eagerly does she damn a human soul to hell in her name.
The party sets their sights northwards, towards the projects of a society of engineers on the Isle of Grim. Nova has reason to believe his unawakened brother machine sits in their grasp. They arrive in Earl's Port, meet a grizzled and dejected old Thorn of Anja captaining a steamboat, and make their way to an island still stuck in the technology of the past. Onwards they travel to meet an apologetic professor heading this island's modernization efforts. They meet and confirm a lost brother's safety and repair. They listen to a new recording of a moment from the past. They learn a new secret about an ancient artifact used to control time, and recognize the name of their adversary.
Grand Duke Malus, son of Alarexia, first adjutant of Alarexia, administrator of the Grand Imperial Pact, Lord High Overseer of the Imperial Ministry of Progress, last of the created.
They take this knowledge. They prepare to leave. They learn that something is tracking them. The Ministry of Progress knows, so they head to the city of Rainsmith and ready to return to the mainland.
They meet someone new before they go. A smuggler, a pact-breaker, an elf who has been fighting the same war that they've stumbled upon for centuries. Riddick Wraith. They learn from him. He tests them at their behest and finds in them sufficient skill to survive, so he deems. He bids them luck on their return to the mainland before they board their ship back home.
Naturally, things can't go too smoothly. In the dead of night aboard the train back to Martin's Junction, they are ambushed by imps, agents, and explosives. Agent Fugue of the Ministry of Progress Division 0 sets the party in his sights and harrows them from atop a moving train. It is with great effort, luck, and strategy that they manage to survive, leaving Fugue and his attack squad to depart.
And so the party rests for a moment more. They take the time to deal with a distinctly prejudiced noble lord and then make their way for distant Kamalos to investigate in peace, to see if any evidence of their vanished friends yet remains in their hometown, to celebrate a birthday without them, to greet a coming princess arriving for a fair. Their older brother plays a great host, and there are days given to relax. And further developments to be had. One Alistair Hollow proves to be in town alongside a gathering of pact breakers to deal with the overzealous ambitions of one Jennifer Creighton. The party arranges a later meeting regarding the fate of the artifact they'd learned of, and convinces Jennifer to stay her hand when it comes to matters of Imperial assassination. Friends of Jenny indeed. Perhaps they think better of that course of action now. At the Imperial Regalia, they catch the eye of the one and only Princess Garrus of the House of Rend, who invites them to a private showing at the fair's big top later in the night.
It's not too much of a surprise when it turns out that the private show is them. Atop trapeze wires and platforms, they fight for their lives against Agent Phosphorus and Task Force Alchemy of Division Zero. Their performance is electrifying, and Agent Phosphorus finds her skull caved in by a gleaming hammer. Memories of a moment 15 years prior spill forth from the pulverized gray matter.
3 figures defeated and bound upon the darkened docks of a burning Kanzig. A towering monstrosity of ice and darkness emerges, interrogates, executes, sing-song trash talks, Salus, Kahir Armbruster. One by one, their hearts are plucked, their souls trapped within the quivering flesh, doomed to spill their secrets in the possession of this terrifying creation of the Hells.
Back in the present day, the party slips away. They take whatever information the princess feeds them, hold it with a grain of salt. Maxwell utilizes his psychic connection for an inkling of what happened to the Zyger sisters too. Sparklips prays for guidance and receives a vision of the smoggy city of Xander and a secret temple beneath its lake. The party readies to leave Kamalos once more.
Not before the waters lay claim. In crimson she wreathes herself dutifully. In crimson she approaches her quarry. A naiad proves stronger than anticipated, lays her hands upon Luminaire's throat, and drowns her within her bond. In a blink between life and death, Luminaire sacrifices her soul to her patron, gains a taste of the power she might attain, and returns to her so-called friends to shatter under the realization of what she so willingly gave away, and the addictive pleasure of her own growing power.
The party ventures forth. A brief stop back in Martin's Junction, and then a further ride into Xander. The air itself sees fit to stifle the party in their tracks within this polluted jungle of urban industrial decay.
They explore, they venture, they find their target. Planning their way in, they meet with packbreakers further. A machine named Maul proves their aid here in Xander. Though the air corrodes their lungs and devils begin harassing them in the streets, they find success. They learn of a way to access their hidden temple. Beneath the gaze of Lascaris Towers sits a Diabolus temple to Halorexia, holding in its depths a key needed to enter this chamber beneath the lake.
Before that, however, a moment spared for love and whimsy, for hope in the face of looming dread and despair. Each and every one of their number conspires for a perfect night, and though legal officiation is out of the question, Luminaire and Saoirse swear vows of eternal love and loyalty unto one another in a private ceremony beneath the eyes of the Nine.
And then, the very next day, showtime. Sparklips is snuck into Halorexia's hall. A fey companion in rodent form comes along. Guards are slaughtered. Gates are unbarred. The party waltzes in without issue. They enter into an elevator, aiming towards a great vault.
And so they descend.
And so they descend.
And so they descend.
And so they descend to my domain.
A realm without color.
A realm
Into a sliver of hell, the party descends and ventures forth towards the great vault they seek. The very plane itself stifles their progress. Terror grips their hearts, and yet they carry forward, facing traps and defenders both and finding their prizes. So they turn to escape. They make their grand dash back. They escape, but not without cost.
So close, so far, you are gone, but this part of you, Sparklips Belly Feather, is mine.
Deuterix greets them on the ride up, and detects a welcoming party above. An agreement is made, a favor later for life now. Deuterix lays waste to an infernal task force and draws El's eye away from the party and onto him for the foreseeable future.
Shelter is taken. Arrangements are made. Plans for escape and continuation. The party descends beneath the waves of the Great Lake to Xander's south.
They pry open grand gates of a temple unopened for centuries. They speak to the essence of a god whose power wanes, yet readies to wax. They rise to the surface and make their ways away from the smoggy city and the eye of Lascaris towers. And they set their sights westwards. A sister in Rentley, a pact breaker in Dreslin, an old timepiece waiting to be procured. No one can say with certainty what lies in store for these six. No one can tell where their stories will lead. One can only know for certain that, for better or for worse, the stories of these six yet untold will shape the very world ahead of them. So we shall see. So we shall see.
So we shall see.